Okay, so today we are in Maya. We have two cubes and four primitives, two cubes and two cylinders. And basically, what we're going to do is going to be trying a few of the tools that Maya allows us to use for creating several models. In this case, I had a problem. I was creating kind of a model, a building for a job, and I decided that I was going to use some of these tools in order to pull the job off. I don't know why, but in the Maya 2019 version, some things are wrong and are not correctly working. So in this case, we're going to be checking what happens when the Boolean with the Boolean in terms of difference, right? When you use Boolean with difference, there's going to be some problems around when you export the mesh after doing that. And I want to see if in Maya 2020 this thing actually happens, because in 2090 had several kind of problems with that, and I want to check out if these places seem real in here. So we have this model and this other model, and we're going to export these two meshes in two different modes to see what's going on and to determine whether we're correct or wrong in our assumptions. So let's go in this, for imagine you want to remove only one face. The easiest thing to do is just do this and remove that, and you basically have yourself a clean mesh without a face in here. Fairly nice, right? Then you will probably want to, for example, in order to not have more subdivisions in here, just want this whole kind of thingy, and I don't want any subdivisions inside. I could decide that I want to, fill this hole, so I have no subdivisions in here, and there's no more mesh in there. Therefore, we can start our experiment and decide whether we can boolean this thing in difference without having it crash. Because let's try it out. We make this thing difference, okay, and it pulls this off in a fairly reasonable manner. Um, this shouldn't have any kind of problem, really. At the end, you've just created yourself a new mesh with a hole on it that has two edges for in order to cut this hole, right? We will, apart from that, let's test another thing. Let's duplicate this one. Let's move it around, and we'll test another thing with this because it's fairly interesting. We want to test again if these edges actually matter, and they probably do. They probably do because they're there for a reason, and the Boolean has created them for a reason. But you can actually remove them in the mesh itself, and Maya will allow you to do it without any kind of issue. But this may incur a problem later on. But as you can see, this thing actually has one face. That's basically this face and this face and these inner faces that just create this kind of whole structure. And as you see, Maya is not showing any problem displaying this, and it shouldn't kind of have any problem exporting it, right? Then it will probably have. Here we have the other version that we're going to create, and it's basically one where we are not going to do that, and we're going to basically just chuck this in, create the boolean, and create the boolean with all the subdivisions inside. You will see what I mean with that. And you go in mesh, booleans, difference, and here you go. What I was trying to explain with that is that when you haven't removed these faces, you will probably have to go yourself in here and decide, oh man, I don't want to have these edges anymore. So you will probably go in here and try to remove them. Let's try again, for sake of experimentation, as I think it's important to note when you're modeling to experiment with things, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. And let's try out something that's going to be fairly interesting to see if it plays out fairly or nicely. In this experiment, we were going to try to remove all these edges without having them, there's probably this kind of control thing. Oh, it doesn't work with edges. Okay, don't worry, no problem. We remove the edges, and there you go. No edges. We can even go and decide we want to remove this point. Oh, the point got removed as well because there's no edge going or leading there. Okay, nice and fairly good. We can remove, and of course, you always need to do that before exporting, and of course, cleaning up your meshes. But that's something for another day. Today we're going to be taking a look at how and this is going to be the actual one we're going to export first to see if it works, right? No, we're going to go to the wildest one, right? The one that has no edges. the one that has no edges, no whatsoever, just a hole on it, and see how it behaves. We remove type construction, we freeze transformations, we make everything we can to make the mesh as cute and clean as possible. We have just a few faces. It shouldn't have any kind of problem, right? Rendering in. So let's go in. Let's create here a group for these other meshes. Let's create a group. Let's hide the group. Let's move this thing in 0, 0, 0. Let's go from here and let's export. File, export selection. We just want to export this pcube 4, and we're going to export it in FBX mode. Basically, we're going to export it the same way as, oh god, this shouldn't be seen, but it doesn't matter. We're going to be doing it buildings, and it doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. Let's test in here, cube, no edges. Cube no edges. Let's do it way more clean. Cube no no edges. And there we go. We have a nice FBX export that we may be able to check out. Oh, presets, no, on presets, it's in projects, it's in buildings, and here we go. Cube no edges. Have this thing exported properly? Oh yeah, it has. It actually has exported properly this cube, and I can't actually believe it. I can't actually believe it. It has triangulated the cube probably, and that's why it has. Yep, it has triangulated the cube this way. That's why it has worked. It's fairly interesting to see. Fairly interesting to see how Maya 2020 behaves with this. Well, I'm starting to like it way more because I'm seeing that it decides to clean the mesh itself when it's exporting. Of course, it has to triangulate the thing, but I didn't know it was going to do this with that. It's fairly interesting. All the edges are properly placed. It's really well done. Yep, good job. Good job on this one. I wasn't expecting this really, but the first one has been checked out. So the first one works. Let's see the second one, right? The one that has the edges in there. And this should probably as well work. And if all these ones work, we'll probably go to the building itself I have and see how this thing behaves with it. And you're probably going to see the problem I have. Or I don't know, maybe not. That's the main reason we're doing this. So we're going to export the selection as well. We've cleaned the transformations already before. We're going to call cube edges, right? No, it's not going to be there. Cube edges. We cube bool. Let's call it bool edges because it's the edges that the boolean has created. We export the selection itself without touching anything. We don't care about it, and we're going to check it. Cube bool edges. Let's see what this thing has done. And there we go. I'm amazed. It has broken our mesh. I can't believe it. It was actually the edges that the boolean has created. I can't believe it. It's not capable of properly triangulating the mesh out of the edges that the boolean has created. That's fairly interesting because that pretty much gives us a broken mesh whenever you export, and you haven't done anything bad with it whatsoever. You actually have done something good. That's just keeping the edges that the boolean decided to place there, and actually to divide the mesh. But it seems like it's better to have the actual one with no edges, because it just triangulates the mesh. It gets the mesh triangulated, and let's check out the other one, the boolean with edges. Oh my god, this is hilarious. It has absolutely broken the mesh down, like it has connected these edges into edges that should be in this other place. I'm not believing it. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Maya? Pretty crazy. Probably this thing doesn't happen with other softwares. I don't know, with 3ds Max or other softwares, but this is fairly hilarious, really. I wasn't expecting that, really. I wasn't. I was actually expecting that in the one that we've deleted the edges whatsoever and just left it to craft itself. But it seems that leaving the computer to craft itself, I mean, it's not It's not that good of a reason. You should just always touch your meshes. Let's see how this thing has played out with the one that we've done. This is duplicated. Oh, I don't know if this thing has been duplicated, but we've done something different probably with this one. I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this probably has been done different, I guess. But let's export it as well. Let's see what it does. The one that we don't know what it does. Let's place it 000 to ensure that the everything, the encoding, the everything, there's no mixture whatsoever. So let's just export the selection. And cube, we don't know because we basically don't know where it came from. Well, maybe if you watch back the video, you probably know where it came from, but I don't know where it does it came from. But this thing has as well not been properly exported. Something that I was as well actually expecting now, yet that we were in this kind of style. And let's see the last one really. The last one is the master, the main one that we came for. The reason we came for in here. To know if doing this is better than doing whatever has been done before. This doesn't change what has happened around in these other faces, in these two faces. But I will try to do something with it as well. We can duplicate it. We can as well remove these faces, these edges. But in this one, right? In this one, yeah. We should remove these edges in this one. And that's going to save this mesh, kind of. It should, right? It should. At the beginning it did. So if we export this, this is, to be sure, it's 0, 0, 0. Hey, baby. Yeah, there we go. File, export selection. Oh, wait a second. Did we? Yeah, I guess we didn't. But a file, export selection, and cube with edges inside, right? Probably inside. Yep. And there we go. We go to cube with edges inside. And of course, it was broken. But wait a second. Wait a second. Because I guess every one of these ones is broken in the same way, I guess. Like, every one of those is broken in the same way, but kind of in a different way. But this is the savior, probably. This is going to be the savior. We're going to place this one at 0, 0, 0. We're going to replace and freeze transformations. We're going to export selection. And we're going to know if what we can do is better or not. And this is the cube with, and without edges. This is a cube that has everything. Oh, we cannot create a file that has the name. Export selection, cube with and without edges. Yeah, and there we go. And there we go. I can't believe it. Yes, it's actually the boolean itself what breaks the mesh. Well, now that we know that, let's apply this thing into our building.